Hi guys, thanks for coming back and joining me yet again for another video. There's been a little bit of a break because I went on a mini break with my husband over to the Isle of Wight, and it was actually really nice weather while we were there. Now I know some of you don't really care when I'm going on holiday. You're like, I just want the gossip, I want to talk about the royal family. So this is the time that you can skip to now if you don't want to listen to a minute or two of what I got up to in the Isle of Wight. So for those of you that are sticking around, well, the fun bit is obviously getting on the ferry because you feel like you're going like on holiday, but you don't need your passport. I did actually ask my husband that question. Yes, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was like, do we need to take passports? Because we're technically getting off island. He's like, no, you don't. And he gave me a look like I was stupid. But there is so much to do there. 4 days was not quite enough, from anything from the history, the Gothic buildings. I mean, I got a couple of photographs here at sunset, absolutely beautiful. There are so many boats. You can get from one end of the island to the other, and where everything is 20 to 30 minutes away, literally all four sides of the island. As I said, there is so much history there. You've got Osborne House, but I didn't go to it. We were only there, as I said, for 4 days, but we did go to one of my favourite places, a butterfly house. I love butterflies next to bees. They're my second favourite. And it was so good. It's one of the best, if not, I'd say the best butterfly house that I've been to. And it wasn't just butterflies. They had various other things there. Look away now if you have an aversion to snakes. Yes, my husband and I both held a very, very small but eager snake. Okay, you can open your eyes now, those of you that don't like snakes. I can appreciate phobias. I've got a phobia myself. So anyway, moving on away from the creepy crawlies and the reptiles. We went to the Isle of Wight Zoo, and before anyone starts stressing about it, I'm not a fan of zoos. I go to sanctuaries and conservation places. Plus the sanctuary, it's actually owned by Chris Packham's wife, Charlotte Corney. And yeah, the amount of money that they make from people coming there and seeing the tigers and the lions, no bears, not yet, you know, that they help with lots of projects all around the world with rescuing tigers in India, and then the same with lemurs in Madagascar. But really interesting place, and I got to have this amazing experience. This was one of the best moments of my life. I love meerkats and I always look at them whenever I've gone anywhere and they've got them, but they're feisty little buggers. When you get mealworms, live mealworms chucked on you, and I'd like to point out, ladies and gents, that was not my favourite moment. But yeah, they squabble when they stand up on you. They don't care you're there. You're basically a prop in the background. As for the rest of the holiday, I'll be honest with you, it was food, more food, cocktails, food. My husband and I are absolute foodies. But yes, for those of you that have not been over to the Isle of Wight, I highly recommend it. It was £100 on the ferry from Portsmouth, and you can stay in a variety if you want luxury or if you want cheap. We went for cheap, but you know, it was somewhere to lay your head down at night. As long as the sheets are clean, you don't care about anything else. So welcome back for those of you that skipped my holiday bits, and let's get started with the video. So I've called it Photo Competition because it would seem that there is still a competition going on between the Montecito Duo and the rest of the royal family. So what kicked off this latest effort from Montecito to try and steal some headlines? Well, there was an official portrait released by Chris Jackson, one of my favourite photographers when it comes to the royal family. And it was King Charles, Queen Camilla, the Prince and Princess of Wales. And it was on the eve of the Queen's funeral. Quite a few people did put in silly little complaints about this, going, oh, they look so happy. Well, if you're going to say that, then I suggest you apply the same logic by this woman who was smiling the night that she wanted to take her life and her unborn child. So you've got to be very careful here. I don't know what's going on in their heads any more than what I know went on with Meghan that night. But you can't apply that logic to one and then not the other. And yeah, as I said, I think the criticism was just ridiculous over this, but they looked fantastic. They are saying it's the new slimmed down monarchy, but I do believe that King Charles will keep his sister Princess Anne because she is just a phenomenal royal. And then obviously he can't discount the fact that Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, is incredibly popular. I would also like to see Princess Beatrice being taken into the fold, but I would like her as untaxpayer funded. But I do think that she cares a lot about the monarchy, about respecting her grandmother's legacy. And I would definitely see Beatrice over what I ever would Harry and Meghan taking up any sort of work or patronages for the royal family ever again. But I think that ship's not just sailed, it's been shot at and burnt. It's currently sinking to the bottom, the depths of the ocean. As for the photograph, however, I think that it just shows family. It represents unity, the future of the monarchy, history. I mean, you've got the current king and the future king, and plus obviously our Queen Consort Camilla now, and then Catherine, who will be our second Queen Consort in the coming years. They looked wonderful, it was professional, and it was just a beautiful photograph, one for the history books. It's the first portrait since the Queen's death of both couples stood side by side. So naturally, what do you think happened? You can go synchronise watch. 5, 4, 3. Oh, they didn't even make it to 2 this time. The competitive Montecito Duo release an official photograph. Well, not 1, but 3. Yes, 3, less than 48 hours later. Here you go. No, I'm kind of fibbing on this one. This is the portrait that they released, as I said, 1 of 3, taken by their new favourite photographer, who has taken pictures of Lily supposedly in the grounds of Frogmore, who also took photographs, you know, the black and white shots of Meghan announcing her second pregnancy, Harry barefoot, you know, that real Earth Mother pose. There's nothing Earth Mothery about Meghan. But anyway, there is more to talk about in this photograph than what there should possibly be about a single photograph. We're going to start with the fact that she is dressed exactly like Wallis Simpson. This is not the first time that Meghan has done this. Meghan is always cosplaying someone, you know, from engagement photographs to, well, we saw so much Diana. There was a phase where she was dressing a little bit like Princess Catherine before I think it might have been at the beginning when she was stalking Harry, in all honesty. But there is never an original thought if it comes to speeches or if it actually comes to Meghan's fashion sense. Even the earrings are the same here. Now, the thing is, Wallis is quite an interesting person for her to copy. Obviously, you've got the fact an American divorcee that caused absolute mayhem. It seems that Wallis had more power than what Meghan did with the royal family, but Meghan has been a one-woman wrecking ball. I can literally picture Miley Cyrus swinging on that ball with Meghan's face on. But in addition to this, there are lots of similarities. If you look at some of these photographs here, look at the way she was dominating, and you can compare them. Lots of people are doing this on social media all of the time. You can see how Harry has become basically emasculated, neutered, I would say. And, you know, Edward was the same. Harry never really truly looks happy. Edward was exactly the same. These two women were very domineering, controlling. But I think that dressing as Wallis is probably not the best comparison that she wants, given her relationship with her husband as well. This cartoon is accurate, and it is a simple case of history repeating itself. So now let's go back to the photograph and let's talk a little bit more about it. Meghan, I have to say, looks completely arrogant in the photograph. A mean girl look, like she did on the front cover or it was the back cover of the Cut magazine. It makes her face look harsh, she looks mean, and she looks totally full of herself. But you have got to remember that she was extremely full of herself at this actual event, which was the One Young World Summit in Manchester. I don't know why summit is a great word. And she basically had 7 minutes to talk and to give encouragement. She was there of one of many speakers that were there. In 7 minutes, she managed to reference herself, me, myself, and I 54 times in a 7-minute speech. Even Bob Geldof was reportedly in the background, rolling his eyes. Now back to Harry. Yes, the man formerly known as Prince. He has, again, it's just emasculated here. He is stood behind Meghan. He is a background feature. His body is hiding behind her. Meghan wearing the bright red again. This seems to be her colour. And it's very dominating pose. She's man-spreading. She looks like she's just got off a horse. And Harry is just a shadow in the background. This is why I really like this photograph that my friend managed to edit for me. Thank you. Perfect. Now, I know this is really immature as well, but one of my friends on Twitter said that it looked like that Harry just has this really kind of smug grin, like a kid that's just farted at the party. And when you look at Meghan's hand, she's literally pulling Harry's finger. So it makes you wonder, even as the photographer, you go, that does look a bit weird. You're literally holding his finger. It's comical, really. And her dressing like Wallis, I mean, it's been way too many times for it to just be accidental. It's a strange outfit. It's not like it's peak fashion at the moment, and the fact that it literally is just like her again. She's got to be doing it on purpose. I think it's another way for Meghan to gain attention and get in the headlines. But with regards to the couple, the way they're standing next to each other, there is no equality there, is it? It is literally Meghan. She is the reason why people are there. She is in charge. She is the one wearing the very spread apart pants. And Harry's just little more than a handbag. Now, the second photo, this is another black and white one. She loves the black and white. And they honestly look like that they're posing for stamps or having their face printed on coins. Naturally, Meghan is the one that is, forefront in the camera. Harry is, again, a background prop. But when you look at the light shining on them, they look like a pair of actors. You know when you go to a stage show and at the end, all of the actors hold hands and they come out and they do the big cheers and everyone curtsies and bows and the audience scream, more, more, more. None of us are really screaming more, more, more of this couple, but they're holding their hands again. I know people think that we're just bitching about it, but it's ridiculous to be in a professional environment. I'm sorry, but if I was sitting in an office and my boss walked in holding her husband's hand, I would really struggle to take them seriously. So let's get on to the third and final photograph. This just screams to me Netflix serial killers. Anyone else? I mean, look at the way she's looking at the camera. Harry's still, oh, look at the light, look at the light. Harry, don't walk into the light. The lighting and the photography is incredibly harsh here. I do not think this brings out Meghan's best features. I know that I'm not the biggest fan of her, but you can't say that she's an unattractive woman. She can look incredibly beautiful, but I really don't like this harsh look that she's been doing lately with the split down the middle and the really harsh tied back. She looks a lot prettier when she's got hair around her face. But this, I would have, if I had been her, I'd have turned around and said, delete that one, thank you. But it makes me think of, what's that stalker Netflix show, You or something. They look like, or she looks like the Black Widow and is about to commit murder. That doesn't literally look like someone that's about to go out on stage and encourage younger generation. And that's the thing with the One Young World Summit. She spoke about herself. There were lots of speakers there, and it was all to do with encouraging the next generation of young leaders or global leaders. It's all very woke, but it's about encouraging them and using your experience as a person, how you can give that and help other people. Meghan just talked about herself. And these photographs, where are the photographs which you think that you'd be, oh, this is a person that I met, this is a person that I met, actually at the summit? No, they released photographs of them. Everything, like I said, it's like a stage entrance, and Meghan is very much the star. I mean, in her own mind, of course. Now, what I also feel was a bit wrong about these photographs, they were taken 3 days before the Queen died. They obviously didn't know that the Queen was going to pass away, but the Queen, knowing that they were in Manchester, bearing in mind they live in the USA, she'd invited them to come see her at Balmoral, and they refused. Harry refused, Meghan refused, they did not want to go see the Queen. Unfortunately, she died 3 days later. There is nothing that Harry can do to ever take that back. But the fact that there was so much drama about how he wanted to take Meghan up there, he made everyone's flight late to go up and to see the Queen because he was arguing about whether Meghan can go. You didn't want to go see her when you're alive, and now that these photographs were taken when they could have been with her, and they're using it to launch some sort of competitive streak against the royal family, they release a picture. Quick, what can we release? It's absolutely childish, it's immature, and everyone can see through it. It's ridiculous. Like I said, you can synchronize your watches to the next publicity stunt. And we've got a tiara event coming up in November, which I'll talk to you more about in the next video, but I dread to think what they're going to pull. Maybe we'll get some pictures finally of Archie and Lily together, in a normal family environment, but I highly doubt it. But who knows what stunt they'll pull. They are always trying to outshine the royals. The most ridiculous thing about Harry and Meghan is that they see this as a competition. They think that they are competing against the rest of the royals. And the thing is, how can you compete when you're not even in the game anymore? And that's why my favourite version of their photograph is this one. So guys, that's the end of the video. Join me on Thursday, where I will be talking about not just our royals, but Denmark's royals, because it would seem that they have a very similar issue with second son syndrome and people arguing over titles. So I will be back with you then, and I have got Princess Catherine, Sophie the Countess of Wessex, Princess Anne, and I will see who else I can fit into the video. maybe we need a little bit of eye candy in the form of Major Johnny. So guys, that's it, and I will see you very soon. Take care for now. Bye.
If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.